Right, so I found the right people to take me through before passport control and look after me and process me as a new olim, a new immigrant. Basically, so you get taken to a back office where they're sort of processing all the people that have just arrived, making Aliyah. And this is like one of the notorious parts about making Aliyah, that it can take hours, it's very slow, there's can be loads of people. Well, basically, I was really lucky because the plane was actually delayed. When I got there, there was no one else being processed, which was really good. And the girls told me that actually, if I'd been much more delayed, like another half an hour or so, I would have caught this like a really big flight coming in from America or somewhere, and I would have been stuck with like behind 30 people who are like waiting to be processed by the two people they have doing the processing. Anyway, so I was really lucky. And they sit you down and you have to show them your letter from the rabbi to prove that you're Jewish, and your form from the Jewish agency to prove that you've like gone through all the right processes. And then basically they need to issue you with your Tudat Zahut. Now let me tell you, it's taken me a very long time to work out how to say that. And it's basically your ID card, and you have to carry it with you everywhere. So you know how in the UK, like, I don't know, you usually carry your driver's license with you for ID, just in case you get ID'd buying alcohol or something. But this is something you're actually supposed to have on you the whole time for identification. So it's a really like important thing. Anyway, so the two things that are like ridiculous about this. One is that you need to have a photo taken. Well, I don't know about you, but when I get off a like 5-hour flight, I do not look my best. So luckily, my friend Rebecca had told me, bring some passport photos with. So I actually had some spare passport photos left over from something or other. But they're like, British ones, which means you're very serious and you're like, here's my face and I'm not smiling. And so basically you have the option of either taking a like more happy photo, but you look disgusting because you got off the aeroplane, or using my grumpy UK photo. So I did use my grumpy UK photo. Here it is, my Tudat Zahut. Very serious. And this is my ID card. Now the other thing about it is that you have to put your name in Hebrew on it. So this is the opportunity, if you want to change your name, you can actually change your name. And some people do that. They want to be called by a Hebrew version of their name or whatever, but I just was happy to be Louise. So he writes it down like in Hebrew letters, and then he goes, is this spelt right? And I'm like, I don't know, like I can't really read Hebrew yet. I was like, does it say Louise to you? And he said, yes. I was like, okay, fine. And then anyway, so it turns out when I met up with Rebecca and showed it to her, she was like, oh, they've spelt it with a samach instead of a zion. I was like, what? She's like, well, it kind of says Lewis. I was like, what? That's it, I'm now Lewis. Lewis Jane Melzak, because actually also in Israel, you can only have one middle name, not two. I have two. I'm Louise Jane Frances Melzak, but no, in Israel, I'm Lewis Jane Melzak. So there we go. Apparently this is quite a common problem. Actually, someone else that I met, her name is Amy, but they put it down as like Ari or Ami or something, which is like a boy's name. Anyway, this happens quite often. So note to anyone making Aliyah, work out how to spell your name before you go in Hebrew. And also maybe, take a not official grumpy photo with you, or like try and look nice when you get off the aeroplane. Anyway, so that was all fine. They gave me my envelope full of money, which is very exciting. You get sort of like 6 installments of money to help you when you arrive, and they literally give you the first one in an envelope in the airport, which is actually very helpful because I didn't have any. I'd taken some cash with, but actually this is going to like last me quite a while. So that was really good. And yeah, and then you have to decide which health insurance provider you want to go with. I just picked Maccabi because that's the one everyone I know has picked. And then they give you a form, and you have to then book an appointment with your local Maccabi branch to sort of register with the doctor. They give you a form for the bank. You have to go to the bank and register with the bank account. And then you can take that form back to the ministry, and then they sort of arrange for the next installments of your money to come in. So I need to go and do all that basically. But anyway, so I got through really quickly. I was basically in and out in an hour and a half, which is very speedy apparently. And then I went through, and it's like 1:30 in the morning now, and there's Rebecca waiting for me with a balloon and a bunch of flowers. And it was just so lovely. It's just such a wonderful welcome. I was so excited to see her. Like, we've been speaking loads and loads in the run up to this. She's really supported me so much throughout. And then there she was waiting for me. And then basically we got a taxi. They give you also a taxi. They arrange a taxi for you to take you to wherever you're going, your address. Oh, that's the other thing, my address is on this. Like, I'm only living in this address for 5 weeks because I'm just subletting. But no, it's now my permanent address on my form. So forevermore, if they want to, the government wants to contact me by post, my post is going to come to this first flat I was living in, which also doesn't make any sense to me. And it's such a faff to change anything. Nobody ever bothers, so I won't. Anyway, so we got back to the flat, like slapped the suitcases upstairs, and then we just had so much adrenaline. We didn't know what to do with ourselves. So Rebecca was like, do you want to go for a walk? And I was like, yeah. So like 2:30 in the morning, we went for a walk around the block to like kind of, she's like, this is this and this is that. And I'm like, I'm so disorientated and overexcited. I'm not taking any of this in, but it's nice to have a walk and catch up. And it was really lovely. And then she left and I just basically potted around. The flat is really beautiful. I'm really lucky to be being here for 5 weeks, and yeah, just gonna unpack and settle in really.